How are you?
Good.
You can hear me good?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, okay. So welcome to Hot Take Tuesday, live on a Wednesday.
Thank you.
Um, for those of you who don't know, we're going to be discussing the 1994 action comedy. I guess it's kind of fantasy a little bit, The Mask. But before we dive into that, I want to introduce you, Brandon. This is my first time seeing you in the flesh.
Yes.
Uh, if you don't mind, if you're comfortable, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am. I'm 20 years old. I am a huge fan of anything pulp culture. Basically, I love movies, anime. My favorite music genre is punk rock. Um, I I'm also really into wrestling and hockey.
Ah, okay. What's your favorite hockey team?
Uh, I just got into it this year. I haven't really picked one yet, but I guess the Maple Leafs.
Okay, is that Canada? I
That's
don't.
Canada, yeah, because I'm from
Yes,
Canada.
I
So,
got it. Yes,
dude, good
yes.
job.
Oh, awesome. So, thank you for agreeing to come on. I'm so excited for this conversation. I love talking about movies. And Riley says, "Yo, Brandon, what's up?"
Oh yes, I went to high
We're
school
gonna be
with him.
talking. We're gonna be talking about The Mask, the 1994 one starring Jim Carrey, Cameron Diaz. So feel free to drop any comments or questions in the chat. We'll try to get to them. We want you guys to be a part of the conversation. You can join in. So, first things first. Was this your first time watching The Mask?
It was my first time. Only one time so far.
Okay. And let's start with like just general thoughts.
Okay, I really enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect going into it. I didn't really like look up too much about like the plot or anything. But
Good.
to be honest, I'm not a huge Jim Carrey fan. I just find him like very obnoxious at times. But
He's hit and miss. He's hit and miss.
exactly, yeah. But going into it, like 10 minutes in, I was already hooked. Like just seeing the type of character that he portrayed and seeing like the transformation into the mask and what it does to him, it was really interesting. I love the comedy aspect of it as well.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Yes. Excellent. So, this I've seen The Mask multiple times.
Right.
Because when it came out, I was, spoiler alert, 11.
Oh,
Um, and but it's been at least 15 years or more, maybe even
really?
20,
Oh,
since I'd actually seen it. So I was seeing it with new eyes, honestly, because, you know, again, I'm a writer and I do film and all that stuff. So I see things a little bit more differently now. So I was
of
like,
course, yeah.
oh, I'm like catching all these things I didn't catch the first time. And I was like, aha, okay, I see what you did there. For me, it aged well.
Yeah.
Um, it really aged well. There were just a couple of shots that, you expect where it's like, okay, that's a painted background or something, or it's a little wonky here and there.
Yeah.
But even like the CGI with the mask, like, with the dog and everything, it
Oh,
looks pretty good.
yeah, it was awesome.
I was like, wow, and I think they did a lot of combination of practical effects and great set design.
Yes.
I feel like that really helped, come it together and makes for a lasting effect. And, I'm old school in that realm, so I
Right.
do appreciate practical, but I understand the need for special effects and CGI. It's just when they rely too heavily on it, it takes away, and this had a perfect blend.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I,
I mean, that being said, I will give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes all the props because I, I they did a good job on CGI.
I still haven't seen any of the original of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay. It's actually a good trilogy.
Okay.
Well, now they have the fourth movie, but
right.
it's a good trilogy. So Riley has a question for you. He says, Brandon, you into filmmaking or just reviews and stuff?
Just reviews for now, Riley. I was thinking about eventually maybe doing like a film class at college or something, but as of right now, I'm just reviewing.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there.
Thank you.
So, I will say this. I don't know if you know, because I don't know exactly your age, but I know that you're, like, younger than me. So there was an animated series that was created off of this called The Mask.
I heard about it. I haven't seen it though.
And then I don't know if you know about his Ace Ventura movies. They did an animated series off of that. So at one time,
I need to watch those still.
There was a time where there was both the animated The Mask and the animated Ace Ventura series on television. It was wild.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a time to be.
I think I may have watched one episode. Riley says, filmmaking is fun. I strongly encourage trying it out.
I definitely will.
It is. It really is. So, let's talk a little bit about Stanley and his character. And just so you know, Brandon, there's like no order. We don't have to, act 1, act 2. We can jump all over the place. And we talk spoilers.
Okay.
The movie's pretty old. So
yeah,
I think it's like 20 years old. I think it's safe. So, okay. So he's a nice guy, but he is like so nice it's frustrating.
Yes.
And what's funny is my hot take that I had on that I posted, somebody on TikTok had said, like, I dislike the fact that people assume you have to be a pushover in order to be considered a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I agree. That's not good. Like, that's not, that stigma should go away. And I wanted to yell at the lady for him, who was like, my very best girlfriend's in town, and I don't really want her to be alone. She's an adult. She's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
She was just an excuse, yo. I don't believe her. I think her best friend always lived there. She didn't just come into town. I don't believe her.
No.
I don't believe her. She's just using him.
Trying to go with someone else.
Yeah. And so I did like that his friend, what was his friend's name?
Oh yeah. I can't remember the name.
I have it somewhere. The other guy at the bank.
Right.
It'll come. Charlie.
Oh, Charlie, right.
Yes. I appreciated that Charlie, he wasn't like dogging the women, saying, oh, they're not this, they're that. He was talking directly to his friend. Hey, you gotta, like, go for a woman who's gonna want you for you. Like, I liked that change.
Right.
Because you see a lot of like, oh, she ain't this, or she's a gold digger, or this and that, blah, blah, blah. And his focus was, hey, my dude, there's somebody out there for you. Don't let women walk all over you. That's it.
The perfect friend. Perfect example.
Exactly. Did you did you write a review on The Mask, or you just read it?
I did write
a
review, yes.
Oh, you did?
I did, yes.
Okay, I have to read it. What was one of your favorite scenes?
Oh man. Honestly, I think some of my favorite scenes were some of the really like comedic ones, with just like just Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Like the scene in the when he first turns to the mask and he's like in the hotel, or he's in the, I can't remember if it's a hotel or just like a place that he's renting.
Yeah. Like I think it's an apartment building or something.
Yeah. And yeah, just like the whole thing with the tenant and all that.
Let's see. One of my favorite scenes actually was, you know, when he's in the Bongo Club. Obviously, when he's doing the dance with Cameron Diaz, it's awesome. But when the guys come in and he's like, "Oof, you got me, partner,"
oh yeah,
and then he's like, "Oof, oof, ah, oof, oof, ah," like,
oh, that
his movements are hilarious.
Oh, that was amazing.
And he's like, and he's like that is one of my favorite scenes, hands down. And the little crowd gets up and starts to clap. I was like, oh, I just like, it is so obvious to me, growing up on Looney Tunes cartoons, how much inspiration they took from it in this. Like, it's all through it. Like, I know they gave little nods where he had the book of the Looney Tunes in his desk, and he had like the little statue of the wolf, and they had it on the TV. But it was just so infused, so playful, so light, so fun that I was just like, I enjoyed every minute.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was amazing.
And so that, real quick, back to the I guess the two women that we saw that rejected him, right?
Right.
Forget the one with the tickets. Yeah, tickets she got over. But Peggy, all this time, I went through life thinking she got away with it. She got 50,000 G's, and she just went and lived her reporter life. And thank you to Eric Sigmund Cinema, who posted that deleted scene that I had no idea existed. Guys, I'm telling you, I really thought she took the money and she ran. No, she got thrown into the newspaper joint. And I'm not saying that I celebrated her demise or anything. I'm just saying, like, well, you kind of did it to yourself.
Right.
And one of the ringing themes, or the repeated sayings, was, he's the nicest guy. You know, he's such a nice guy. And even when Peggy betrayed him, but you really are a nice guy. Get out of my face, chick. Get out of my face.
Yeah, just completely taking advantage of him.
Like, okay, so when I first watched this, I thought it was going to be the other way around. They really fooled me. I thought Cameron Diaz was going to be the character that took advantage of him, and that Peggy was the character he was supposed to be with the whole time.
Yes.
They fooled me. Oh, they fooled me so good.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought that Cameron Diaz was going to be the good one, and then Peggy was going to be the villain.
Mm-hmm. What Max watches says hello.
Hello.
So I know how I felt when I first saw it. I want to hear someone who's watched for the first time, when she's sitting in that, I guess, in the news, whatever, factory with him, and she's saying all these nice things, and he says, "Oh, Peggy, do you really mean it?" And then she says, "No." Like, how did that, like, please tell me how you felt in that moment. Or were you like, wait, what? Like, what was your thought process?
That came off as a little, it was weird. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, it was just, I kind of saw it coming, but at the same time, I just, it did come off as a little bit of unexpected.
I didn't see it coming, but for me, it only felt weird when he said, "Gosh, Peggy, do you really mean it?" Because everything before that, I was in it.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And then when he said that, I hear you, it was like, oh, that was a little weird the way he worded it. And then she said no. And I was like, chick, say what? Wild. Wild.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if have you watched a lot of movies that with Cameron Diaz in
Um,
them?
I've seen a good handful. Like I've seen something about Mary,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen Shrek, of course. Uh, I can't remember if I've seen anything else with her, but I'm sure I
So
have.
she's got a couple like she got a couple ones that I really enjoy. Bad Teacher, which is like a R-rated comedy. I
I would
really
like to
enjoyed
watch
that
that
one.
one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Like she is such a butthole in
Oh,
that movie, but it's so funny. You know what I mean? It's
right.
good. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
funny. And she does have a character arc.
Okay.
Um, and I think the other woman, I think it's called, but that's also like a rated R type of comedy, but that's a whole different thing. Where she finds out that she's a side chick, and so she gets her like she and the wife and the other one, they get together and get revenge. So it's actually really
Right.
funny.
Okay.
But this was actually her film debut.
I thought I was because didn't at the beginning didn't they say like introducing Cameron Diaz?
This was her first like major
Oh,
film.
oh,
So
okay. I didn't realize
killed
it.
it.
I thought it
Killed
was
it.
later. It was earlier than that.
hmm As far as I know, because something about Mary didn't come out till like late, like 2000, 97, 99, something like
Yeah.
that. Something like that. So yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty
Right.
certain. You guys can correct me in the comments if you want to. Um, so let's talk about like, and the other thing too is some of the stuff that happens to Stanley is really relatable.
Oh yes,
Like
absolutely.
the mechanics, like they are cartoonishly in your face robbing people and not even
Yes.
hiding it. Like Stanley's sitting there waiting, and there's like, oh, what's this? $700. I'm like, yo.
I love how the way they like portray like real life into the movie. Like it's a comedy, but it's still like accurate to a degree.
Mhm. 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 What Max watches says, Brandon, have you seen Charlie's Angels? That's right. That's another
Right.
good one. That's
I
another good
was
one.
actually thinking about that one. I was going to watch it, and then I think it was taken off Netflix in my area, so I wasn't able to.
Ah,
Yeah, but I will get around to it eventually.
you know what? Thank you, what Max watches. That's another good one. I completely forgot about
Yeah,
Charlie's Angels. Yo, they were fun. They those versions were fun. Very fun.
right.
Um, so um, I'm gonna skip to the end real quick
Okay.
because since we're talking about the mechanics and how he basically stuffed the muffler up their butt.
Was not expecting that.
I
He
he
walked in,
just
and I'm
bust
like,
open the
"What's he
door,
gonna do to them?"
right? Um, and so at the end, a spoiler alert. The fact that that happened, like, isn't that still under investigation? And then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, maybe they told him it was a green mask
Yeah.
guy. All right,
Yeah.
Dorian, the mayor basically closed the case,
That's right.
but there's still the fingerprints on all the money in the bank.
I
I don't know.
yeah, that was
Maybe
very weird. Like I'm like, wait, there's no conclusion to this case. Like it's it's just over.
because the mayor's like, no, I saw it. Dorian was the mask. Okay, cool. Gotcha. All right. How do we explain Stanley's fingerprints all over the bank
Yeah.
stuff? Like he works there, but it is like in certain like the way it's done. So that I think that's one of the few holes that I like didn't think about back then that I watched it today, and I was like, I mean yesterday, I was like, wait a minute,
Something's not right here.
am I not right? Like, what are we doing? Um, so speaking of the detective, like, okay, so even the detective, right?
Right.
Calloway, who was such a
Right.
grouch. Like you didn't hate him. He was still
Yeah.
funny. Even with him being a grouch and being like, Stanley, I'm gonna get you. Like his poor partner Doyle. Oh my gosh, Doyle had me laughing all day.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Doyle, like all day. He's trying to come out. Hey, hey. He's like, nah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The dance scene was
The thing,
so random but so funny.
right? Okay. So there was like one, two. There were definitely two dancing numbers that I recall.
Right.
Um, one was like the mamba type of thing, and then one was with uh, uh, Cameron Diaz, and both of them were so good. Like even that is reminiscent of like the cartoons back
Oh,
in the day. They
oh
had a
yeah.
lot of like orchestra and music. They had a lot of that in cartoons back in the day. Um, that it just like I freaking enjoyed. I freaking enjoyed. Um, now Stanley's repressed,
Yes.
right? Very repressed. He's so repressed that like this movie does this funny thing where like we see the scene how it happens the first time around when he goes to the club for the first
Yes.
time, and then how he dreams it's supposed to
Yes.
happen with Cameron Diaz. And it's so funny, like all the extraness of even like the cigarette and how he did everything.
Oh yeah.
It was hilarious. I thought they might do more of that actually, where he imagines what he would have done, should have done, or should have said.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah. I think a couple more times, like even with the landlord,
Yes.
the lady. So, but I guess that's what I guess they made up for it by showing you, like the mask showed you what he did.
The
Like,
master,
well,
yeah. That
yeah,
was kind of like
like
the old
the,
reading
oh
of.
yeah, the all. So I want to ask you, do you know of Pepe Le Pew? Um,
The name sounds familiar.
he was
I
a
don't.
cartoon. He was a cartoon skunk,
Right.
one of the Looney Tunes characters,
Yes. Yeah.
and his
Exactly.
whole thing was he was this super romantic, overbearing, boundary
Right.
crossing a skunk who it was always like a cat somehow who had pretended or got like spray painted by accident and looked like a skunk. So he would chase down the cat. My love, my this, blah, blah. And there were certain parts, like especially on the bench in the park, I was like, yo,
Oh yeah.
the mask is
That's.
channeling Pepe Le Pew.
I never thought about that before. That is 100%. That's 100% a recreation.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one of the things that like I missed the first time around. I noticed it this time. I was like, oh, okay. Um, and even when what's his name again? Calloway, when
Oh
he
yeah.
was talking about some kind of something with the evidence, and he said, what is the words he said? Where is it? Is it? Um, yeah, I have notes so I don't forget
Oh.
things. Oh, he says we'll have a full dance card on our hands. It was like a saying that he said, and then later on, the whole SWAT team is doing the mamba or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like okay, foreshadowing. I got it. I saw what you did. Clever.
Yeah.
Um, and some of the lines that even the mask like he was quoting that were from movies. And one of my other favorite scenes was like when the cops gab and he goes, "It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man." And, and that's straight from like The Fugitive because a one-armed man had murdered his wife. So it was hilarious because it's like when you deliver it like that, it's like it just again Jim Carrey was in his bag in this movie. Like he was pulling all of this
Oh
his
yeah.
comedic genius. Like every scene, whether he was Stanley or the mask, every scene hit perfectly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jim Carrey was
yeah.
amazing in this film.
Like what's funny is like when I watched it this time around, I watched it with my kids, so it was their first time watching it. And the minute that Cameron Diaz comes out and she's wearing the red dress and she's singing, they're like, "Oh, Jessica Rabbit." She's basically doing Jessica Rabbit. And I was like, I
Oh.
didn't even see that. I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. Because they had just watched for the first time Who Framed Roger Rabbit a couple weeks ago. Because
Okay.
what my husband and I are doing now is a few times a month, we're sitting down with them and watching movies from back in the day that we enjoyed, trying to bring them into that, like, hey, like, like the really good stuff. Not that, I mean, there's good movies coming out today.
Right.
Just there seems like, but things that we know that are kind of on their level that really hit us, that was smart
Yeah.
or clever or fun or witty. We're introducing them to our stuff as well.
I definitely
So,
find myself more attached to like older films than
mhm.
like a lot of newer. I mean, there's always obviously still like a lot
Yeah,
of great new films, but
yeah.
I find there's more old films that I enjoy than newer films.
So I do have a theory on, well, many theories, but one of the contributing factors that I strongly believe is because there's been so much consolidation, and stories and stuff now has to go through so many more hands than it did before.
Right.
And it was always the movie business. It was always about making money, but there was a delicate balance between artist and, for lack of a better word, corporate, that like a little dance where they're trying to, like, the artist is trying to get their vision, and the corporation's like, okay, but make sure it's still profitable. And it's like this little dance, so there's more thought and things put into stuff. And now it feels like it's corporate has taken a stronger arm, a
Right.
stronger investment in the process, so they are sanitizing messages to make it more appealing for masses. But the issue with that is that you take out so much of the good grainy stuff in there. Like, I gotta be honest with you, like, if this exact film was presented today, I can tell you like at least 5 things that they would pull from it that I think would remove some of the personality. And I feel like that's kind of something that they're struggling with right now. They're trying to find that perfect balance, and they need to go back to that, like giving the artists a little bit more space to do their stuff.
Right.
My 2 cents.
Well said.
Um, let's see. And okay, the fact that the place is called Edge City and it's on the edge, I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
I never.
around, around the
Honestly, I
nose.
didn't. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's literally called Edge City,
Right.
around the edge,
Right.
right there.
Okay. Yeah, that does make sense now.
Yeah. Um, so I also made so I made another connection that I didn't realize at the time, was when he was being accosted by the police, and the mask said, "Where's the camcorder when you need one?" I was like, oh, snap. He is actually kind of referencing Rodney King,
Oh,
who,
okay.
yeah, because that whole thing with the cops and the camcorder, that happened in 1991. This came out in 1994.
Oh,
So the fact that he said, "Where's a camcorder when you need one?" Like, I felt like he was kind of like again, it's one of those things where it's like it's one little line in there. It's delivered comedic. It gives you the funny that you want, but it is still saying a little bit more than what you think.
right.
And it wouldn't shock me if that line was something that they were like, we'll remove it.
That would definitely be a reference that I would have missed because I was not familiar with that.
Well, again, this is your first time watching it. Like, remember, I've watched it a few times before, so
Right.
there are certain things that I've already seen, so my eyes are looking for new things.
Right.
And me being, like the writing, I'm listening for what they're saying more than I did before, so I'm catching things, and I'm like, oh, boop, boop. So it's actually been fun also rewatching the movies with my kids, because I'm like, I, whoop, I missed that. Um, and even even when he was making the balloon animals, and he reached in
Oh
his
yeah.
pocket and he pulled out a used condom, and he said, "Oop, wrong pocket." I was really,
Oh, that... and everyone's just standing there watching him.
and I'm like, wait, did I catch this when I was watching it when I was younger? I don't even know if I caught that
Yeah.
because it
I mean,
felt
you
like
were
the
only
first
like,
time.
you said you were like 11?
Yeah, 11. I
Okay.
watched it a bunch of times, like 11, 12, 13 with my cousin, and
Oh,
then
okay.
it was one of the movies that like I didn't watch for a very long time, a very long time. So one of the other hold on. Monsieur Berman says, "Wow, I completely missed that. I need to watch it again because I definitely was too young back then." Yes, I'm telling. Like you watched it now, you're going to catch way more things
It's
than
so
before.
different.
You're gonna be
Uh,
like,
I mean, I can't really.
right, and I think that's also like speaking to what like you were talking about before, Brandon, about like really like enjoying some of the older stuff more because again I feel like there was more they were putting into it. Like they were,
I agree.
they
Yeah.
were just layers.
It
There were just
seems.
layers to things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like there's just so many like sequels and remakes now that it's like kind of taking away the creativity that cinema used to have.
Yeah. And you know what? And here's what I'll say about that. When I kind of always tell people like back then, like you've always had remakes, sequels,
Oh yeah.
reboots. You've always had that. But like it was 70-30. 70%
Yes.
of stuff coming out was original, 30% was all that stuff. Now it feels like it is flipped. 70% of what's coming out is a remake, a reboot, or a sequel. And
Exactly.
30% is
Yeah.
original stuff. And it's like I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I do. But
Yes.
did we I
Oh.
Roadhouse, like I didn't need a remake of Roadhouse. As a matter of fact, I would have rathered you like taken that character that is Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yes.
Taking that and create a whole new story behind it. Like you could have still had elements, been inspired by Roadhouse and but be
Right.
something completely different. Like and it's just like, you know, all of my nostalgia, they're like, oh, you know what? These are the paying adults now. This is our audience. Let's kill it.
Yeah.
Let's put out everything. And I'm just like, I love movies. And you are making me question that because I'm finding myself having less and less of a desire to watch movies, and it's troubling me because I have loved movies since I was a
Yeah.
child.
I mean I've been in love with movies for like 3 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and like seeing seeing like Roadhouse and like all the 2024 sequels and stuff. It just hasn't really nothing's really piqued my interest this year. Like even Doom Part
Mm.
2 was a disappointment for me, honestly.
Oh. I did have a couple weeks ago. I did have a whole live convo on Doom Part Two.
Yes.
um. Berm says I don't even think my parents caught it. Wow, what great parents I had.
Your parents are
Okay,
cool.
so your parents probably caught it, but they expected you not to catch it. Because because here's the thing, as I'm watching stuff with my children, I'm looking and they didn't catch what I'm catching. I'm like, oh, they didn't catch that. Okay, I'm be quiet. Like my daughter had said, what was that? I was like, we'll have a conversation later.
My parents would never let me watch any of that when I was younger. Like I was not allowed to watch like The Simpsons, Family Guy, any of those shows. I mean, my mom didn't want me to, and then and then there's my dad who was like, "Yeah, let's show this to an 8-year-old."
To be fair, Family Guy is The Simpsons on steroids,
Yes.
and there's a lot in it. I mean, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable,
Yes.
but there is a lot that I would definitely wouldn't like now. Like
No.
I got away with being able to watch Simpsons when I was a kid, and even then it was like a little spicy, considerably. But Family Guy,
they have no boundaries.
None.
And it feels like it's gotten even worse with like recent seasons. Like it is just completely out in the open.
Well, and then okay, and then the other thing about Family Guy is like when actual like um news is coming out and stuff is coming out and people are able to link it back to a Family Guy joke. I'm like, oh, were they were trying to like, oh, they were trying to tell us, they were trying to tell us. And it's like, well, that's not surprising because I always say art imitates life, imitates art. So
That's what my dad always says too.
don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. You know, artists are speaking to us. They are trying to communicate.
Yes.
And I know this because that's what I do in my art and things that I create.
Right.
So, I want to. Oh, okay. Before I say that, I want to take it to Dorian, who the bad guy in the film, the big bad, the big bad.
Yes.
He had another one of my favorite scenes where he got the mask on. He's in the club,
right.
And he's like, okay, can we just say, how come whenever he got the mask, he walked like Frankenstein?
Oh, I mean,
did you see like he just lumbered in? And I was like, okay, I get it. You big right. God. I get it. You big. He just lumbered in. Oh my God. But when he was in the club and he was like, taking down Nico,
right.
And he said, take your best shot. And he's like, he gets shot up and he absorbs all the bullets. And then he goes, and like, it's just like the animation behind it, like his nostrils getting huge, all that, like that was hands down like one of my other favorite scenes. I felt bad for Nico though. I was like, I know you like technically are a bad guy who's a mob boss as well, but you're doing some charity. So
he was a great villain.
Yeah. Yes, Spike, the mask. We've been talking about the mask. It still holds up. It still holds up, Spike.
Yes.
It still holds up.
Agreed.
It still holds up. 100%. It's good. And now, like as a filmmaker now, right, and a writer, Spike, right. Like I was just telling Brandon, like I'm catching so many things that I was younger. It's been years, and I'm just like seeing all the in the innuendos and the dialogue, and it just so much goes into it that it's like this is why I love movies. This is why I love movies.
You never know what you expect.
Yes, I'd like to also take a moment here to give honor to the real hero of this film, Milo, the dog.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he saved the day twice.
Yes, twice. I did not expect him to have as big a role in this film as he did.
Right? Listen, I don't know off the top of my head what type of dog breed he is or was, but I guarantee you after this movie came out, sales for that breed increased.
Oh,
had to. He did for his breed what that commercial "Eu Quero Taco Bell" did for Chihuahuas back in the day, like. It really boosted. And he was smart too. He was a well-trained like dog actor. Yes. Grabbing keys and all that. I was like, he was his own character. Even before he wore the mask, he was already a character. It was great. Yeah. It was great.
So smart.
Yeah. And somehow he was comedic too. Like again, before even I'm not even talking about when he had the mask on. He was like comedic in his own way, like it was hilarious.
It was hilarious. Like, where Stanley is like he's hiding the money in the closet, and the dog's just like sniffing the
and he's like, give it.
Yeah. Going after the frisbee.
Like, Milo, shh. Ain't no snitches in this house. Shh. Milo, shh. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
And let me see here. So, have you? Well, and I guess you haven't seen it, but did you know that there's a sequel to this movie?
It's The Mask or something, right? Like,
Yeah,
or
some of the mask. But hold on.
Son of the Mask.
Ashton says the dog from the mask, him jumping up when he's behind bars is a great scene.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
Yes, Ashton. Yes. We're talking about the dog, Milo. Yes.
Yes.
He was so awesome throughout. Like you said, Brandon,
Yeah.
like I didn't expect him to be such a huge part of the film. But he was great. Like even when Stanley was looking for his regular keys to get to work, it was Milo that found them.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like foreshadowing. Okay, he's good with finding things. He's good with keys. He's good with
Right.
fetching. He doesn't like letting them go though.
No.
Like that's funny.
No, it's just the same thing in prison with the keys. It's just
Yeah, and then yeah, and behind the bar scene, like they did that slow mo on his last ride. He got him. I was like, yeah.
You know he's gonna do it.
Yes, it was good. It was good. So I know that Cameron Diaz wasn't given a lot to do in this film because like it really wasn't too much about her, but the way sorry, I just saw a comment, but the way that she was used at times here and there, I did enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
And and she didn't come off as like she came off as genuine, as like really yeah, she came into the bank as part of a plan, a scheme, but she seemed to genuinely like Stanley and the little conversations they had. Like she didn't come off as plastic or fake, yeah, she brought more to the role than just a pretty girl.
Exactly.
And I appreciated that. So Monsieur Berm says, way more useful dog than Charlie. Okay, he has a pug, a cute pug. So he's just making fun. He's just poking fun. You leave Charlie alone.
Yeah.
Berm, okay. All right, leave Charlie alone.
Charlie's good.
All right. So really quickly going back to the sequel, is called The Son of the Mask. And it's got Jamie Kennedy in it.
Okay.
And that's the only thing that I know because I never watched it.
I mean, I've never seen it, but I don't really plan on.
I'm not. What can we do for a sequel? And I don't know if they had approached, Jim Carrey with the possibility of a sequel, if they already had something in play, and he was like, "Oh no, I don't want to do it," or "I'm busy," and they just went to segue it, or if they had less funding, because Jim Carrey was building a resume, so he wasn't going to be as cheap, so quote unquote, as he was when he first was in the movie, because he had Dumb and Dumber, like he was on a roll. Lovely says you've been reported. Oh goodness! Like, someone's battling out in the comments over Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah, that's right. Defend Charlie's honor. So, okay. So here's the thing about Jamie Kennedy. He used to have like this prank show, where he would prank people and do different disguises. And I remember watching it and enjoying it. He was also the comic relief in Scream, and Scream 2. So, he's got some good acting chops and he's got some good comedic timing. I personally didn't think that he had enough to carry a movie.
Right.
And then when the mask, the son of the mask, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know. I don't know if Jamie's supposed to be Stanley Ipkiss. I don't know if he's supposed to be his cousin. I don't know if he's just somebody new completely that just got a hold of it. I don't know anything about the son of the mask because what I saw in the trailers, who was playing it, I was like, I am out. I'm good. I'm good, brethren.
You've
I'm
seen all you
good. No, thank
need
you.
to see.
Yes, I've seen all I need to see, and I've never heard anything good
I
about it.
haven't heard.
I've never heard not one. Usually, you have like one person who's like, "Oh yeah, no. It's great. It's so fun. It's great. It's so stupid. It's fun," or something like that. Not one person has defended the son of the mask to
No.
me. So if anyone's in the chat who disagrees with me, who thinks, "Hey, no, you're missing out on the son of the mask," feel free. Feel free. This is an open space.
Yeah.
Okay? This is a safe space. I am not here to ridicule you for what you like. Okay? So just let me know if I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but we'll see. We'll see.
Somebody in my
Um,
somebody under my review wrote a comment saying, "Stay away from the mask." Say from Son of the Mask, like.
oh, dang, man. Honestly, like I haven't looked at Jimmy Kennedy's career like that, but I'm wondering if that movie single-handedly like stalled it.
Oh, maybe.
It might have. Like
It
I haven't done my due diligence.
it's happened before.
Lovely says, yes, identify yourself so we can judge you. Well, Max watches says, I haven't seen it and probably won't. Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Let's see. I think I've gone through and seen. All right. So, are there any before I kind of give the last question up, are there any last, thoughts or closing statements that you want to say about the math?
There's so much to say about this movie. Like from start to finish, it is so chaotic, but so
Yeah.
intriguing. Like Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz and everybody who worked on the film is just like props to everybody. Like
Yeah.
making a movie that's become like a classic. It's
Mm-hmm.
just comedy classic.
Yeah. And it was pleasant to see that my kids had enjoyed it as well.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
That's
They
good.
like Who Framed Roger Rabbit more, but that's a high bar already. So
Film I
to
still
be
need to
fair.
see.
Okay, Brandon, I'm giving you a little bit of homework. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put it
You're
on my
going to watch
watch
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
list. Okay. I'm
You're
putting it
gonna
on my
watch
watch
next.
list.
Yes, absolutely. It is. I believe it is the first and only time in history Warner Brothers and Disney worked together, so all of their characters collectively were in the same movie.
I am surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
Thinking of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I feel like they should have done more movies like that where they live action combined with animation.
Well, I mean, they've done some. Like, I guess
okay.
technically, you can count Cool World. It's got Brad Pitt in it, kind of. It's kind of like that. There's a few of them. I'm just like I'm blanking, but there's still a few of them like that.
Okay.
Movie Record of the Week says hi, Brandon.
Hello, Movie Record of the Week.
So, my final question, because we're talking about the mask, 1994. Pre says, Brandon, check out Aladdin 4. You will not be disappointed. Brandon,
yes.
There is no Aladdin 4.
There's no Aladdin 4.
No. Okay, it's actually a Family Guy sketch.
Oh,
so
is it? Oh,
yes.
I didn't know the Jafar needs glasses, right?
Yes.
Oh,
I love that sketch.
I love it too. The cutaways were always the best part of Family Guy.
Always. Okay, so my final question is, do you think that Stanley and Tina, Cameron Diaz,
right,
stayed together?
I think yes. I feel like they do generally love each other. They have a good connection. I really, I mean, I feel like they're meant for each other, honestly.
Yeah,
And I mean,
and
I was just gonna say, like, and Stanley saved her life. She was very grateful for it. So,
I agree with you. And like I said in like my little hot take video, like she has done the bad boy thing. Done.
yes,
She's like, no. Give me nice, give me chill, give me calm. I'm done with this chaotic foolishness. I'm good. I'm all the way good. And not to mention that Stanley, like, we didn't even touch on the fact that he did grow.
you
He
did.
did stand up for himself. Like in a way, the mask kind of, even though it pulls the stuff out of you, it doesn't always go back in. You get a little bit more courage. You get a little bit more, like, you know what I mean? Like, he stood up to his boss. He stood up to Dorian. Um, who else? I think it was it, but like he stood up to the big hitters,
Yes.
the big hitters, and like you saw the change. So it's not even like she was getting the same dopey pushover Stanley anyway.
True.
Like he was like kind of stepping in his own as well. And there was one other thing I forgot to mention when he went to the expert about the math.
Oh, right.
And he said, "Oh yeah, it's the Norse god of Loki." I was like, I forgot about that. Marvel's a thing now, so Loki means something entirely different to me.
Literally,
and
the second they said that, I'm like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
Marvel reference.
The god of trickery and whatever. I was like, oh my god, yeah. And the fact that the mask is green, Loki's colors are green, I was like, well played, Marvel.
When can we expect the Masked Marvel movie?
Oh, can you imagine?
That would. Can you imagine? Universe.
Oh my god, that would be great.
That would be great.
Okay.
People that actually enjoys modern Marvel, so I think it'd be great.
I want to see. Oh, well, okay. Did you watch the Loki's television series, the 2 seasons?
Yeah, not too long ago, I finally got around to watching it.
I felt like a fitting end.
Yeah.
I
loved it. Yeah.
He has had one of the best arcs in the Marvel universe, and he got to do it twice. If you think about it, he got to do it twice.
That's true. Yeah.
So
that was.
Yeah. So thank you again for coming on today, Brandon. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out Brandon movie reviews. No, Brad. No, Brandon or Brad movie reviews. Yeah, I was right. Yes. Again, don't doubt yourself, Lisa. Brandon movie reviews. Brandon _ movie reviews. Make sure you guys are following. It's wonderful. If any of you guys are interested in coming on and doing a live, I do these most Tuesdays. I will be taking a break next week, but I'll be back in June. We pick a movie. We have a nice little chat about it. So hit me up, DM me if you guys want to be on the schedule. July is wide open. So, we'd love to have you guys on. Again, thank you, Brandon. Check him out.
Thank you so much.
Let me know. Of course.
And such a great opportunity.
Thank you. And, continue making your movie reviews. I'm going to read your Mask review. And hit me up. I write, I film, I do teach, all that stuff, tips. So if you're interested in filming and in information on that and what that looks like, I'm here.
I would love that.
Movie recommendation does a great job to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, DM me. I'm available. I love helping creatives.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So enjoy. Try not to miss me too much. Just joking. And have a wonderful night. Thank you, Brandon. And I will be having you back on again.
Oh, thank you. Good night.